Hi, welcome. It's Elaine. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to make a wreath, and I thought I'd share that with you. I've already gone ahead and attached my sign, which I'm not sure if you can see it too well, the glare. It's like a shadow box style. It says in full bloom. We've got a pot with some tulips. What I've done is I've attached a hanger. I've gone ahead and attached floral foam. This is where we'll be putting our florals today. And I have gone ahead and attached my sign with pipe cleaners to the back. So let me introduce myself. My name is Elaine. I'm owner and creator at Inspired by My Angel, CLM. And I've begun recording some videos that I wanted to share. I'm a new designer. I have just begun my journey in September of 2020. I began making a wreath and found my joy. I'm passionate. I have since joined 2 design classes that I take online, and I'm learning a tremendous amount. And what my thoughts were was that I would like to be able to share that with others from the perspective of someone new, so you could see that you could also do this. So today, as I said, my sign is my inspiration, in full bloom. And because of the colors in the sign has made me decide on my ribbons, which I've gone ahead. I haven't fluffed my bow yet. But if you can see, I have a little bit of green here in the sign. So I've chosen this gingham check as my background. And I'll fluff this once I get it attached. It also has a pale pink and a deeper pink. I've gone with the pale pink. And then I've brought in this plaid, which has the deeper pink, some greens, a little tiny bit of turquoise that picks up on the barn board that's on the background. So those are the reasons for my colors. I got that from here. My bow is going to be placed here on my floral foam. Now I'll just show you, here's some of the greenery that I'm going to be using, and I'll explain to you why. I've got this wispy green grass that I'll be using to pick up on the deeper green that's in the background of our flowers. And there's a little bit of yellow, so I've picked this out as some more greenery and filler, and that picks up on a little bit more of this lime green that's in the ribbon. And then, of course, we're going to be replicating our florals. So I've chosen tulips in the shades of yellow, white, pink, and I'm even going to put in just a couple of this blue color to pull out that kind of aqua that's in the background, and that is in my ribbon as well. So that's what we'll be doing today, and I'll explain as I go. For the sake of time, I went ahead and attached my sign, which you just find your placement. I stapled 2 chenille stems to the back. I fed those through and tied those off. I cut a piece of floral foam and I've zip tied that to my grapevine. I also have some Spanish moss behind my easel here that I'll be using to fill in my foam as we go along. So I'll be using my snips, my hot glue that I have here in a skillet. Just melted my glue sticks that you would use in any glue gun. And this just makes it a little bit easier and allows you to control the temperature of the glue, so less likely to get burnt. So to start off, the first thing I have learned in design school is to start off with our greenery. So that's what I'll do. So as I said, I've chosen this one. I'm just going to cut off a few of the branches. So let me get those snipped off. I hope everyone is well today, and I thank you so much for joining me on my video as I take this journey in the art of wreath making. And I hope I'm able to inspire you to try and do this yourself. I'm leaving the stems a little long as I cut them because I'm not sure of the length I'll need, and it'll just be easy to trim as we go along. This greenery is what they call a push-up. The greenery slides up and down the stem. I don't know if you can see that. So you're able to push it up and get more length, or you can keep it a little bit down and create a shorter stem. So when you're looking for greenery, that's something nice to look for. The other greeneries work fine also, but there's just a plus to them being able to be moved like that. I'm located in Central Florida, originally from the state of Rhode Island, and I've been living here in Florida for about 17 years now. It's absolutely gorgeous out today. I do have a fan running. I didn't put the AC on out here in my workshop. It's a little noisy, so we'll see if I can do this without the air conditioning. Okay, I've got a few pieces cut. I'm just going to get a little bit of greenery in, and then I'll go in and put my bow. So I'd like the greenery to trail over but not cover our sign. So of course that'll be a little bit too long, I think. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to trim this one a little bit shorter, and then what I'm going to do is just dip the end of the stem into my glue that I have right here. Try to get some of the strings off. And then I'm just going to insert up here at the top to begin. Give that a little bend. And I've got a dollop of glue there that I don't like. And we need to cover this floral foam anyway. So as I go, I'll be adding my moss right at the base of the stem to cover the glue and to help us cover our floral. Okay, so we've got our first piece of greenery in. And the other thing that I've learned is to make sure you move your greenery and don't leave it just straight. It just creates a more realistic look to the greenery. And the other thing that I have learned is to work opposites. So because I placed that stem up here in the upper corner, I'm going to come down and place one opposite. So I'll go ahead and dip it in my glue, and I'm going to come just opposite. And again, I'll place a little bit of my moss. Just be careful when you're doing that. The glue is still warm, but like I said, it's not quite as warm as it would be in your glue gun. But still, you need to be careful. Okay, so now we have another piece coming down. If you can see that okay. And I'm going to continue in that manner. So now what I'd like to do is come off in this direction. But I don't want that to stick out too far, so I'm going to snip this a little bit shorter. And I'm going to place right in the center. on the side of the foam. And again, I will add a little dab of my moss to that glue. What we're doing is we're covering our floral foam with our greenery, but we're establishing a line that we want to stay within once we begin with our florals. So because I put one on that side, I want to come here to the inside. And this stem on the inside I can cut quite a bit shorter. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I'll come opposite. Just bending that a little bit. Since I began my journey, I have opened an Etsy store online, and the name of it is Inspired by My Angel, CLM. I would enjoy very much if you'd go and take a look and see what I have been designing along the way. I also have some other videos that I've created here on YouTube. If you wouldn't mind following me and take a look at some of my videos, and I'd love to have feedback for you to let me know how I'm doing, if I've been able to encourage you, inspire, if you would, to come on this journey with me. Okay, I've got another stem here. I'm going to cut this in half. I don't need all of it. So I think I'd like to come in right here, close to the top of our sign. Right on the opposite corner from where we placed that one. And just let that drape. It kind of breaks the hardness of the sign right there. The sharp edge just softens it a little bit. And again, we'll put a little bit of our moss right there. And I've got the other half of that. I'm going to come to the outside corner and place this one. Just going to trim this down a little. I don't need it to be quite so long. Eventually, someday, I would love to be able to do live videos so that I could get to know the people who are watching, and you'd be able to comment, and I could have a conversation with you. But at this beginning stage of design, I just feel as though I need to stay focused, and I'm probably not the greatest multitasker there is. So for now, I'll record my videos and then share them with you. Okay, so you can see, doesn't look too pretty right now, but we've begun to get our greenery in place. And now I'm going to come in with the other greenery that I mentioned that has that little bit of yellow that looks really nice with our sign. I'm just going to cut off a few pieces. And again, this one also is a push, which I really enjoy working with. We don't need these pieces to be too long because we've already established quite a bit of length here. I'm going to cut this one a little bit shorter, give it a little bend, just so it's a little more realistic looking. And I'm going to come in between the pieces that I've already placed. And that looked like it was a little long. I can come closer to the base. So let's get our first one in and see how we like it. So I'm going right between those two longer pieces. placing that. And again, adding a little bit of my moss. I had cut that stem in half. So now what I'm going to do is take the other half, but because it's a slide, where I cut it, this could slip right off. So I'm just going to take my plier like this, and I'm just going to bend that like a J, just so this won't slide off. And I'm just going to push that up so it gets caught in that J right there. I'll come in between these two. And I'll continue along that way, cutting my stems. These are a little bit too big, so what I'm doing is just sliding a portion of it down and cutting them in half. Using that top one first. Working my way around, going in between where I had placed the other greenery. What I have learned in design school, for interest and texture, those are important. Your color, which we established with our sign and our ribbons. And then we want to incorporate texture into our designs. So what the recommendation is 3 types of greenery offer you a nice variety of texture. So I do try to do that. We'll also have another texture with the leaves from the tulips, giving us our 3 different textures. Okay, I'm going to come now between this one here applying a little bit of moss there. Cut our next stem. And again, I'm cutting that in half. I placed one here, so now I'm going to come here on the end. I can cut this a little bit shorter. I'm liking that little shading in this greenery. Brings in just a little bit because it's a pretty soft yellow in the tulips of our sign. Okay, we have one more to place that will go right between these two here. So let me get the other half of that stem. Create my J, just curling that under so that it won't slide. You do get glue strings when you're working with hot glue. So if you see me going like this and you can't see the strings, I'm not crazy. I'm just pulling off glue strings as I see them, okay? Okay, so let me hold that up for you. You can see now we're beginning to get fuller. So what I'd like to do now is get my bow in place. And then we'll go to our flowers. So I'm going to just put this greenery aside for now. If we need more, it's right there. And what I did when I created this bow is I tightened with a zip tie, and then I slipped another zip tie under that before I tightened it. And this is my attachment zip tie. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to slide under the two that I already have placed. So I'm just going under. Hopefully I haven't gotten my glue in the way. Just use my plier, push down on the foam a little bit. See if I can grab that. There we go. And then attach my zip tie. Begin to tighten it, but not all the way. I want to make sure I get my bow where I want it. I want it opposite this upper corner here. And I'm just pulling that zip tie as I go along. Okay? So that's exactly where I wanted this to fall. So let me just make sure I've got that tightened all the way. And then I'll take my snips and remove the excess zip tie. And fluff my bow out. Okay, so we've got the green check. Again, picking up on the greenery that's in our sign. Just spreading those apart. Let me come to the other side. Just kind of give that a little bit of a pull and a twist, opening up your ribbon, like so. Now we'll go to our solid baby pink. Just give it a little twist and a fluff. The same thing on the opposite side. The zip ties hold it nice and secure so you don't have to worry. I mean, you can tug on it. It's not going anywhere. I'm just trying to alternate our colors a little bit here. And next, that plaid that we put in. We'll just give that a little twist and fluff. And have our tails coming down. So we've got our gingham, our pink, and our plaid that's using all of the same colors. Just pull those down. And there you can see our bow. Okay, it's looking good. If we need to trim our tails, we'll do that as we go along. We'll see what we need to, where we need to make adjustments. Okay, so let's start off with some tulips. I think I'll start off with these pink, which pick up the color very nicely in our sign, and there's also a fine line of this color that runs through our plaid ribbon. So I'll cut a few of these off. A couple of these have like a little bit of a spiky grass on them. So what I'm going to do is just run my finger, like as if you were doing curling ribbon with a scissor. I'm just running my finger around and just giving it a little bit of a bend. And let's see how high we want our tulips to come. So we'll start up here at the top. I think that'll be nice. Like I had said earlier, I'm going to go opposite, and I'm going to come down here and place another. So we've got a little pink coming out there. I like the way this one is dropping like it does in nature. Let me just run my thumb over our added greenery. Just pulling those glue strings off. And now I'm going to get another one over here, coming off to the side, opposite. So right out here. You can see some glue, so I'm going to go ahead and place a little bit of my moss. Giving that a little bend so it kind of drapes down the way this one does. Okay, so we've got some of our pink in there. It's looking pretty. Okay, because we've got the white frame, I want to get some of these white tulips in there too. So let me go ahead and cut some of those. I'll put these or others to the side. We think that's enough pink, but we've got more if we need it. Just get some of our white ones ready. Get my price tag cut off. And that's another thing, if you do sell your wreaths, I keep a notebook close by, and as I use my product, which I had done prior to coming on video, I just jot down what I'm using so I can keep track of my cost. So I recommend that for anybody who is planning on selling their wreaths, because sometimes you get going and you forget how much product you've incorporated in your design, and you want to make sure that you have a running tally. Just makes it a little easier for you. Okay, so now we're going to get some white in. So I'm thinking I'm going to come up here behind the bow. I want it to be able to peek above the loop, but not out too far. So that looks good right there. So because I put one there, I'm going to come opposite and place another. So it's always a good idea to kind of try it before you do the insert. Actually, I think I'll come up here more. Yeah. Just move my bow out of the way, holding on to your wreath as you do the insert so you're not pulling your floral foam off. Okay, so you can see we've got the two white like that. Let's get another one up here. Actually, we'll do a yellow. Let's bring a little bit of the white more towards the center. And again, this has that spikier grass, which is a plastic. And I just, as if I'm curling ribbon, I just run my thumbnail and finger over it just to give it a nice curve, so it's not so straight. See how that curved? Okay, and I think what I'd like to do is come right in this area. I think I need to make that just a tad shorter. I'm trimming it to about 1 inch on the stem, because I don't want this to be out too far. And I'll come in nice and tight to the ribbon. Fluff that out. I like the way that looks. I love that little ferny in there. Just giving that a little bit more texture. Can you see that? Loving it. So let's come down below with another white one. So we'll come right in this area here. Oops, I just knocked one of the tulip heads off, but not to worry. We're just going to dab a little bit of glue and put it right back on. Oh, I need a little more glue. Okay. Let's come in with a little bit of our yellow. Start off with 3, see how we like it. Again, I'm just curling these, just giving them a little bend. I'm thinking right up here. That's pretty. My fan is blowing my glue strings. Let me just shut that off for a second. Okay, I'd like to come in over here. Maybe down below a little bit. There, I like that. I like the way it's resting there next to our sign. They call that breaking the plane. I won't be doing anything on this side, but softening here I think is nice. Okay, so we've got 2 of our yellow in. I'm thinking we come in down here with our 3rd. This is already getting nice and full. Let me see that. It's really full. You can't really see any of the moss. Not the moss, the floral foam, because we used our moss as we were going along. Now, like I said, because the background has a little tiny bit of an aqua, and this ribbon has just a little bit, I thought it would be nice just to pull in a couple of these blue tulips. So let's just see where we want to place those, and I think we're going to be done. Of course, I'll go back over the wreath and remove my glue strings and add any moss, if I should see any of that floral foam and get it ready, I'll take pictures and do a short video that I can post in my Etsy shop along with the wreath. So this wreath is available for sale if anyone's interested. I should have it in my Etsy shop by later today or tomorrow. Okay, I'm thinking right up here. I like that. I think we'll go right up there. Yeah, just that touch of blue. And let's bring one down below. I think right down here. That's looking very nice. I hope I'm explaining clearly. All of the insertion has been into the floral foam that I zip tied onto the grapevine. Okay, and I just want that to come down a little bit longer than our others. So we can see that blue, but it's not so in our face. Can you see that? Just that little bit of blue down there. And the one up here, I'm trying to get that sign a little better picture if I can change the angle. If you can see the blue that's in there. I think that just adds a nice pop of color. I believe we've got plenty of greenery here. This will catch in the wind when it's on someone's door, giving it movement, making it more realistic. I love that. Fluff my bow out again. I think the length on the tails is good. I don't think I would need to shorten those anymore. I think that looks good. It's coming just the same length as the sign. So we're staying within a perimeter that we formed with our greenery and sign. As I was saying earlier, I encourage you to comment below and let me know if you liked my video, if you'd like to see me continue to do more. I would thoroughly enjoy that. And if you would hit the subscribe button, that would help my small business and get my name out there and seen. Share the site with your friends. Also my Etsy shop, if you were to go there and favorite my shop, you'd be helping me as a small business owner just beginning. And I encourage you to look and see some of the other projects that I've completed and I have listed in my store. I not only do grapevine wreaths, I also do mesh, and I have done some small arrangements. I've got whimsical. I've got for every season, holiday, and occasion. I would also work on custom orders if that's something you think you would be interested in. I'd be more than happy to work with you. Just email me through my Etsy shop. Again, the name of that is Inspired by My Angel, CLM. And I want to thank you so much for coming along with me on my journey today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I inspired you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Until the next video, have a wonderful day.